All right, let's talk about last year's hardware challenge. I'm known for my long videos driven on about some technical topic or slightly technical topic. Anyway, this one I will make as quick as possible and somewhat fun. Agent Chen, our double agent insider threat. You were given a brief, some information, said they got him in detention. Here's a card. I don't know. See what you can do, right? And as a forensic analyst, of course, your very first thing is to make a copy of this exact thing, byte for byte. So I'll show you a couple different ways of doing it. Let's start with the ACR122U connected to my Kali machine here. I'm gonna throw it on there. I'm gonna run NFC list, and that's a good start. So what I'm looking at here is my UID. Okay, getting as information that I can. All right, so then I'm going to write out a dump of this file. So NFC MF classic RBU badge MFD. You can look at the help file and see what all that means. We're going to read it into a dump file. Boom, done. All right, so then I can view this, right? I have a dump file with it. What do we do with the dump file? Xdump -C. Let's see what's in there. So this here is flag number 1 in plain text. There's also some plain text here that we're not sure what that is. So you need to save this because what happened was this badge was taken away from you and you don't get it anymore. So now you are given a box that we found. This card that does not open the box. We got a Chameleon Ultra and this. So how do we get in? How do we get into the box when the card won't open it, right? And we don't have the badge anymore. So if you watched the video before the competition, I gave you several different ways of doing it and learning how to clone some stuff. And what mattered sometimes is just the UID. So even if you had a flipper 0, you can emulate. Let's see if I even picked the right one here. You can emulate the UID. I don't have my other one charged. Doesn't matter. You can emulate the UID of the badge. So you could have had the badge. You could emulate it and you can get in. So let's pretend this is my flipper 0. I can get into the box and there's more stuff in the box, right? Okay. So again, without the badge, I need to get into the box is the point. However, and you could even do some work with what's in there given the flipper. All right, but we don't have the badge anymore, so we can't do that. What we can do is, because we kept a byte for byte copy, is make a clone of the badge. So we can write back to, because I gave you a Gen 1A magic card here, we can write back to this card with our dump. So there's a couple things we have to do. We have to set the UID. Okay, first let me try one other thing real quick. I'm going to give you a different way of reading it. So this here we can see, but there's a better way of doing it. Let's do, so the badge.txt, yes please, cat badge. No, oh yeah, wrong thing. All right, so before we were done, we could have exported it differently. It doesn't really matter. We could figure it out from the byte dump or from the hex dump, but it's a little bit easier to see here, right, on one line. So we can see that plain text encrypted flag is ultimately what it ends up being. Again, you don't have that anymore, so you either saved it or you didn't. But we do have the dump, so we can write to let's do, so we're going to write it with that dump. And okay, so we're done. However, it's still not working. We don't have good beep yet because this UID is not what matched the card that we had, the badge. So I can scroll up and find it, but we need the UID. NFC MF set UID. I already have it here, so that's handy. Okay, so now I've set the UID and uploaded the payload like the data portion of like the memory portion of the card, and I can open the box. So without the badge, I'm able to replicate the badge with this card, and then again, I'm done with that now because that was just a blank card. That was for me to do what I just did and get into the box here. All right, so in the box, we had Eclipse gum. If you remember last year, there was a solar eclipse going on. So that was kind of neat, and I'm just going to do this the easy way here. So the little sticker here was not just to identify which set you had, but I got to have a little bit of fun. So I put an NDEF record on here that is Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. So Rick roll a little bit, kind of. Again, that's fun. Lighten things up a little. All right, and then inside I had something you could do something, you know, with your Google Translate on your phone, or take a picture and tell me, you know, or maybe you just know Chinese. But that says poem-ish, you know. And then, so same thing, there's what's on here, I don't know. So let's do a read of that too. So we're going to read the NDEF records because that's what's on there. And I get a couple things. So again, I get text plain something, looks like base 64. So let's copy that and do what we do with base 64. Cheat. And from base 64, that's flag 2. All right, and then we have some other base 64, which, I mean, that's way too big to be flag 3, but let's give it a try anyway. All right, it's a poem. So the word poem written on the card leads to a poem, and Eclipse gum, Eclipse. So what are we missing for flag 3? Well, on the badge, if we can remember, we had another record. So cat badge. Oops. If I can type. All right, so if we have this, we can copy and do what we do with things. Throw it in there. That's not working out. So, I mean, obviously it's not base 64, but it's a CTF. So everything is XORed. And what could you imagine the key to be? There's many clues. All right, so the keyword was Eclipse, or the key was Eclipse, and there's flag 3. Again, like, you don't have this anymore. So unless you made a dump of the badge, you don't have that encrypted record, and that was the key. That was where I lost a bunch of you that had the flipper because it worked, right? So you got the UID clone, we're able to open the box, we're able to see more stuff and do stuff with it. So you got maybe 2 flags, but you weren't able to go back in time because you didn't have that record, and it wasn't as obvious that's what it was. So that was the curveball a little bit. And, you know, again, like forensically speaking, when you're given something and there may be a timeline associated, just make a copy just to be sure, and then work with that. Okay, that's everything with the ACR 122U. Quick and, well, quickish. All right. I also gave you the Chameleon Ultra, which was kind of newer at the time and really cool. So let's do that one real quick. And I don't have to show you all the flags and decryption and everything, but you can get the idea. So badge, Chameleon, GUI, and yeah, there's a little bit of work you have to do to get the thing to work. That's fine. Update the firmware and whatnot. That's normal for us, right? So go ahead and connect to it. I'm going to read a card. So I just have it sitting on the badge. I'm going to read the card, and it's done reading, but none of the keys are broken. So let me go ahead and just do a dictionary crack. I kept it simple, so it's going to work. Okay, and then I'm going to dump the card. Save as a bin. Badge.bin. Save. Okay. Again, so here's my command line here. So what do we do with bin? Like binary files, like First things first. Oh, well, shoot, that's pretty easy, right? So that was quick and dumb and easy. But now the badge is gone. So what do? I don't have it anymore. So just using the Chameleon, not even using another card. Well, let's do both. Okay, so I can. This already works, but you're gonna have to hit that delete button here. I can write the card, so I can select my saved card. Sorry, I gotta save the card first. Save card, add badge. I'm gonna name it demo badge. Okay, and then I'm gonna write a card from demo badge. I just did this, so one of them is gonna work. Next, write. I can see that as writing to my Gen 1 Alpha card, which I selected the magic card type pretty quick there, trying to blow through this. So you get the idea. Okay, card written successfully. I overwrote this card, so whatever on it was on it is gone, and it opens the box. So good deal. So I could effectively clone with just the Chameleon, and I could pull strings out of the NDEF records and keep going, right? So again, with the poem, you get the idea, same thing. But because this is even cooler, I don't even need to do that. So I guess let me load it I'll show you how to load it. One of the things you could do is connect back to my device here. Is I can add that card into a slot. So let me pick slot 4, demo badge, and that's it. And there's the 2 buttons on the back, and that just allows me to navigate back and forth. So I'm going to go to slot 4. Good beep. Box opens. So just using the Chameleon, I can get pretty far. Actually, I could probably do the whole thing. One team, at least one team that I remember, was able to get flag 1 and 3 without getting 2 or something like that. Anyway, they got the first plain text one on the badge, and then they got the one that was in the box. And I was watching you all play with this stuff, and I realized where I made a mistake. If you think literally outside the box and simply read wherever you can. Where is it? It's not taped down anymore. There, I get the record with the poem, and that's my poem. So I could copy it from here, throw it in CyberChef, or decode it, and that's the flag from inside the box without being able to open the box. So I thought that was pretty clever. And then, so that was 2 different ways. You could do it with your phone. Obviously, I just showed you that. You could get the data off the badge. This is actually a really valid way of doing it. You're not getting the full dump like you would want, but you do get both records. So the full payloads of the records, and those are pretty simple, and you can save that. So that was a good way to do it also. And then, depending on if you have the pro version or different tools, you could then replay the UID. This particular lock only cares about the UID. It doesn't care anything else about what's on the card. So it's a pretty simple clone, I guess, to be able to open the box. That's it. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense for y'all that were going through it. Saw some Morse code, like signal analysis and everything. That was really awesome. I might incorporate that into a future one, but this time it was just bad beep, good beep. And again, like, had you watched the video before, I know they're long and boring a little bit, but there is clues in the videos, and they will help you. Even if it puts you to sleep at night, whatever, it's worth watching and following the links if I give you any. So again, I recommend this year just watch the videos, which I suppose if you're watching this you are. But that last year's video before the competition would have significantly helped a lot of people get through the hardware challenge. So looking forward to this year and seeing what you got.